All of you have 5 minutes.
Okay, hello, I'm Rooney. I'm currently a 4th year history student at Bangor. I say 4th year because I don't want to change as an extra year to my course. So, why do I want to run to be student union president? Bangor has been the most fantastic experience in my life. I've learned so much whilst I've been here, but it's just as much about the people that I've met here that's so crucial. And that's really unique to Bangor. You don't get the same kind of mix of people. And there's so many people in my first year who lived so much, their lives have been so much different to mine. And that was so crucial. But also that means that therefore the student union has to be active in people's social lives and in bringing people together. So what are the main things I want to do? First and foremost, Pontio. We've got to make sure that this new building and this new institution works for us. So I want to make sure, for instance, that they have comment boxes around on various campuses so that students can suggest acts or plays or events that they want to put on a Pontio. Has any of you looked at the listing for Pontio events at the moment? I know I've only found one event this year, and that's because people are playing bagpipes at it, and I'm a real sad. Otherwise, there's not a lot of events that you could say the students really want, and that's not right. Yes, Pontio's got to be an institution and a business that works in the local community, but that doesn't stop it working for students as well. The other big thing, as just mentioned, grants and bursary cuts. This is really serious. Bursaries have been cut to first year students now, whereas it used to be £1,500, it's now either £1,000 or below. That's a really serious problem. If people are in financial hardship, the university has a moral duty and an obligation to make sure that people in financial hardship do not suffer the lowest standard of living whilst they're studying. They need to be able to pay for their food, for their rent, in order to have a more comfortable life whilst they're studying their degree. Otherwise they can't study their degree properly. I want to fight for that. And especially on a more national level, I want Bangor to be really active with NUS in fighting cuts to maintenance grants and to student nurses grants. It's absolutely ridiculous that people are having their funding cut today. They need that funding, and especially for student nurses who are going to be going into work, doing one of the most selfless jobs. It is absolutely pathetic that this is being cut. I want to make sure that Bangor fights as hard as it can to make sure these things aren't cut. The other things I want to do, international students. The university treats international students as a cash cow all the time. It's absolutely pathetic. They're just there, they increase the numbers, they just bring them in for the sake of getting money, and then the university does very little for them afterwards. It's not right. And as well, it makes home and international students feel a stranger in their own environment. You end up passing a lot of these people on the street every day, but you don't actually get to speak to them. So the student union needs to be active in creating more social events that bring home and international students together. And we also have to realise that for lots of international students, maybe going out and having a drink and going to the club probably aren't quite the same kind of idea of idea of socialising as ours. So we've got to make sure there's a balance between both communities, so that we understand we make social events for all of us. I absolutely love Bangor. I would really want to be president to do so many things for so many people. For instance, part-time students as well suffer unique problems. Lots of them are working, and we need to make sure that there's proper support for those people. Because if they're part-time students, it tends to have meant that they couldn't do university when they just came out of school. They had to go into a job, or they are having a family. But that university education could get them so much further in their life. The university education is such a good mover of social mobility, so it's really crucial that we give them the right support, and it's really hard, as we've already heard, for them to get involved with societies, with different social events. So we need to make sure that we're listening to part-time students and saying, look, these events don't work for you, you can't get to them, let's change that. Let's make sure you feel part of this university community, not on the outside of it. So I hope if you like the policies, and you think that I should be the right person to be president, that you'll vote for me already as your first preference for student president. Diolch yn fawr.